Good morning, good morning. I thought I would do exactly what Miss Lopez does every morning. Good morning, good morning. Hope you're all well this morning. Just like to say a big hello to Isla and Elsie and Sadie and Ivy. Sorry. Oh, I was getting distracted by the writing on the side. It's the first time that I've had that. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Daniel. I'm getting good. I probably won't be able to keep my eye on that as well as talking to you because it's going to really confuse me. Good morning, Fatima. Oh, we also have to say a huge happy birthday to a very special boy today. Hello, Miss Lopez. It is Ruben's birthday. Happy birthday, Ruben. I hope you have a lovely day celebrating and doing whatever it is that you're doing with everybody. Good morning, Petra. Good morning, Miss Lopez. Oh, school internet's down. Oh, that's a shame. Well, good morning to everybody at school as well. Good morning, Miss Blake. I do believe you're watching this morning. And good morning to anybody else from our school who is watching. Good morning to anybody from my class who's watching. Good morning, Noemi. And I was also thinking, if anybody from my class is watching and you want to do the task that I set at the end of the session today, you can upload it to our Seesaw. I'd love to see what you're doing. Oh, that's so lovely that so many of you are wishing Ruben a very happy birthday. Okay, right. So we'll begin today with a poem. Now, today is my favourite day of the week. It's Friday. Love Friday. So I thought I'd read you a poem. Good morning, Twinny. So Friday has a way to make us lay on our back and say that this day is good. It may be my most favourite day. So because Friday lays at the end of all the days, it gets a lot more love and maybe the happiest of all the days. And I think that it is the happiest of all the days today. Lovely day, the sun is shining, we're all together, it's Ruben's birthday, we love Fridays. Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, Ava. Morning, Izzy. Hey, Izzy, hope you're well. Yes, I love Fridays too, Noemi. Okay, right, so we've got to begin with our book. Now, I know yesterday you were reading and I was watching while you were reading yesterday, and we read Miranda's part together. And that was fantastic. And I think it just really gave us an insight as to how Miranda was feeling. And I think after sort of listening to Miranda, I think we can all, now we've been introduced to lots of the characters in the book, well, majority of the characters in the book. I also think that all of us can now sort of relate to one of the characters, whether it's Miranda, whether or not you've kind of maybe wanted to be that popular child and maybe lost friends because of it, or maybe it's August and you felt left out, or maybe it's Via and sometimes maybe your sibling gets a little bit more attention than you because of something that's going on at home. I think we can all relate to one of those characters at some point in our life. So I think it's really lovely to relate to those characters because it makes it more real. So today we're moving on to August now. So on to part 8. And we're going to be reading what he's going on to do. So now, the 5th grade nature retreat. I think lots of you year 5s will be able to relate to this in particular because of your Gordon Brown trip. Unfortunately, my year 4s, we didn't get to go on that trip. But I think lots of you will relate to this. So I hope you enjoy it. Every year in the spring, the 5th graders of Beecher Prep go away for 3 days and 2 nights to a place called the Brewer Wood Nature Reserve in Pennsylvania. It's a 4-hour bus drive away. The kids sleep in cabins with bunk beds. There are campfires and s'mores and long walks through the woods. The teachers have been prepping us about this all year long, so all the kids in the grade are excited about it, except for me. And it's not even that I'm not excited, because I kind of am. It's just I've never slept away from home before and I'm kind of nervous. Most kids have had sleepovers by the time they're my age. A lot of kids have gone to sleepaway camps or stayed with their grandparents or whatever. Not me. Not unless you include hospital stays. But even then, Mum or Dad always stayed with me overnight. But I never slept over Tata and Papa's house or Aunt Kate and Uncle Poe's house. When I was really little, that was mainly because there were too many medical issues, like my trachea tube needed to be cleared every hour or reinserting my feeding tube if it got detached. But when I got bigger, I just never felt like sleeping anywhere else. There was one time when I half slept over Christopher's house. We were about 8 and we were still best friends. Our family had gone for a visit to his house, and me and Christopher were having such a great time playing Lego Star Wars that I didn't want to leave when it was time to go. We were like, please, 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 can we have a sleepover? So our parents said yes, and Mum and Dad and Via drove home. And me and Christopher stayed up till midnight playing until Lisa, his mum, said, okay, guys, time to go to bed. Well, that's when I kind of panicked a bit. Lisa tried to help me go to sleep, but I started crying that I wanted to go home. So at 1 a.m, Lisa called Mum and Dad and Dad drove all the way back out to Bridgeport to pick me up. We didn't get home until 3 a.m. So my one and only sleepover, up until now, was pretty much a disaster, which is why I'm a little nervous about the nature retreat. On the other hand, I'm really excited. Now, and I think even from that chapter, there are some of you that can relate to how August is feeling, because I know that when I was a young child, I didn't really like staying over at people's houses. I liked the comfort of my own bed, and I liked to know that my mummy was just next door. So I think it doesn't matter what else is going on at home. I think we can all kind of relate to that sometimes. Hey, good morning, Leon. Let me just... good morning, Charlotte. Good morning, Scarlett. Oh, no, that's Fergus. Scarlett is your sister. Okay, right, let's move on. So, next chapter, known for. I asked Mum to buy me a new rolling duffel bag because my old one had Star Wars stuff on it. And so that's just that's the American term for sleeping bag. And there was no way I was going to take that to the 5th grade nature retreat. As much as I love Star Wars, I don't want that to be what I'm known for. Everyone's known for something in middle school. Like Reed is known for really being into marine life and the oceans and things like that. And Amos is known for being a really good baseball player. And Charlotte is known for having been in a TV commercial when she was 6. And Zmina's known for being really smart. My point is that in middle school, you kind of get known for what you're into, and you have to be careful about stuff like that. Like Max G and Max W will never live down their Dungeons and Dragons obsession. So I was actually trying to ease out of the whole Star Wars thing a bit. I mean, it'll always be special to me, like it is with the doctor who put in my hearing aids. It's just not the thing I wanted to be known for in middle school. I'm not sure what I want to be known for, but it's not that. That's not exactly true. I do know what I'm really known for, but there's nothing I can do about that. A Star Wars duffel bag I could do something about. What do you think he means by that? I do know what I'm really known for. What do you think he's actually known for at school? Because it's not going to be his Star Wars obsession, is it? Why do you think people know about him? Okay, packing. Mum helped me pack the night before the big trip. We put all the clothes I was taking on my bed and she folded everything neatly and put it inside the bag while I watched. It was a plain blue rolling duffel, by the way. No logos or artwork. What if I can't sleep at night? I asked. Take a book with you. Then if you can't sleep, you can pull out your flashlight and read for a bit until you get sleepy, she answered. I nodded. What if I have a nightmare? Your teachers will be there, sweetie, she said. And Jack, and your friends. I can bring Babu, I said. That was my favourite stuffed animal when I was little, a small black bear with a soft black nose. You don't really sleep with him anymore, do you? Said Mum. No, but I keep him in my closet in case I wake up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep, I said. I could hide him in my bag. No one would know. Then let's do that, Mum nodded, getting Babu from inside my closet. I wish they allowed cell phones, I said. I know, me too, she said. Though I know you're going to have a great time, Oggy. You sure you want me to pack Babu? Yeah, but way down where no one can see him, I said. She stuck Babu deep inside the bag and then stuffed the last of my t-shirts on top of him. So many clothes for just 2 days. 3 days and 2 nights, I corrected her. Yeah, it is sad that that's what he's known for in school, isn't it? Very sad. Yep, his face. Oh, poor August. Yep, she nodded, smiling. 3 days and 2 nights. She zipped up the duffel bag and picked it up. Not too heavy, try it. I picked up the bag. Fine, I shrugged. She sat on the bed. Hey, what happened to your Empire Strikes Back poster? Oh, I took that down ages ago, I answered. She shook her head. Huh? I didn't notice that before. I'm trying to, change my image a bit, I explained. Okay, she smiled, nodding like she understood. Anyway, honey, you have to promise me you won't forget to put on the bug spray, okay? On the legs, especially when you're hiking through the woods. It's right here in the front compartment. Uh-huh. And put on your sunscreen, she said. You do not want to get a sunburn. And don't, I repeat, do not forget to take your hearing aids off if you go swimming. Would I get electrocuted? No, but you'd be in real hot water with Daddy because those things cost a fortune. She laughed. I put the rain poncho in the front compartment too. Same thing goes if it rains, Oggy, okay? Make sure you cover the hearing aids with the hood. Aye, aye, sir, I said, saluting. She smiled and pulled me over. I can't believe how much you've grown up this year, Oggy, she said softly, putting her hands on the side of my face. Do I look taller? Definitely, she nodded. I'm still the shortest one in my grade. I'm not really even talking about your height, she said. Suppose I hate it there. You're going to have a great time, Oggy. I nodded. She got up and gave me a quick kiss on the forehead. Okay, so I say we get to bed now. It's only 9 o'clock, Mum. Your bus leaves at 6 a.m. tomorrow. You don't want to be late. Come on, chop chop. Your teeth are brushed? I nodded and climbed into bed. She started to lie down next to me. You don't need to put me to bed tonight, Mum, I said. I'll read on my own till I get sleepy. Really? She nodded, impressed. She squeezed my hand and gave it a kiss. Okay then. Good night, love. Have sweet dreams. You too. She turned on the little reading light beside the bed. I'll write you letters, I said as she was leaving, even though I'll probably be home before you guys even get them. Then we can read them together, she said, and threw me a kiss. When she left my room, I took my copy of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe off the night table and started reading until I fell asleep. Though the witch knew the deep magic, there is a magic deeper still which she did not know. Her knowledge goes back only to the dawn of time, but if she could have looked a little further back into the stillness and the darkness before time dawned, she would have read there are different incantations. Okay, let's just have a little look. Hi, Maya! Hey! Morning, James. I don't think there's anything wrong with stuffed animals. I have a teddy bear that I've had for about 15 years and I don't sleep with it anymore, but I still keep it in my bedroom just in case I ever need it and if I ever get lonely. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a cuddly toy. Okay, daybreak. The next day I woke up really early. It was still dark inside my room and even darker outside, though I knew it would be morning soon. I turned over on my side but didn't feel at all sleepy. That's when I saw Daisy sitting near my bed. I mean, I knew it wasn't Daisy, but for a second I saw a shadow that looked just like her. I didn't think it was a dream then, but now, looking back, I know it must have been. It didn't make me sad to see her at all. It just filled me up with nice feelings inside. She was gone after a second, and I couldn't see her again in the darkness. The room slowly started lightening. I reached for my hearing aid headband and put it on, and now the world was really awake. I could hear the garbage trucks clunking down the street and the birds in our backyard, and down the hallway I heard Mum's alarm beeping. Daisy's ghost made me feel super strong inside, knowing wherever I am, she'd be with me. Oh, that's so lovely. I got up out of bed and went to my desk and wrote a little note to Mum. Then I went into the living room where my packed bag was by the door. I opened it up and fished inside until I found what I was looking for. I took Babu back to my room and laid him in my bed and taped the little note to Mum on his chest. And then I covered him with my blanket so Mum would find him later. The note read, "Dear Mum, I won't need Babu, but if you miss me, you can cuddle with him yourself. XO, Oggy." Oh, cute. Let's have a look. Oh, good morning, Lucy. Oh, so lovely. Oh, I remember Fatima, you remember how excited you were for Gordon Brown? Yeah. I think my children were extremely excited too. And I was so excited because I've never been away on any trips with school before. And I would have loved to have gone, but maybe next year, who knows, hey? Right, we're going to read one more chapter and then I'm going to tell you what your task is this morning. Day 1. The bus ride went really fast. I sat by the window and Jack was next to me in the aisle seat. Summer and Maya were in front of us. Everyone was in a good mood. Kind of loud, laughing a lot. I noticed right away that Julian wasn't on our bus, even though Henry and Miles were. I figured he must be on the other bus, but then I overheard Miles tell Amos that Julian ditched the grade trip because he thought the whole nature retreat thing was quite, quote, unquote, dorky. Julian, not sure I agree with you on that one. I think he would have benefited from going away with his fellow classmates to learn some teamwork skills, people skills, Julian. Right, where was I? Sorry. I got totally pumped because dealing with Julian for 3 days in a row and 2 nights was a major reason that I was nervous about this whole trip. Yeah, I suppose for Oggy, it's better that he's not there. So now without him there, I could really just relax and not worry about a thing. We got to the nature reserve at around noon. The first thing we did was put our stuff down in the cabins. There were 3 bunk beds to every room, so me and Jack did rock, paper, scissors for the top bunk, and I won. Woohoo! And the other guys in the room were Reed and Tristan and Pablo and Nino. After we had lunch in the main cabin, we all went on a 2-hour guided nature hike through the woods. But these were not woods like the kind they have in Central Park. These were real woods. Giant trees that almost totally blocked out the sunlight. Tangles of leaves and fallen tree trunks. Howls and chirps and really loud bird calls. There was a slight fog too, like a pale blue smoke all around us. So cool. The nature guide pointed everything out to us, the different types of trees we were passing, the insects inside the dead logs on the trail, the signs of the deer and bears in the wood, what types of birds were whistling and where to look for them. I realised that my Lobot hearing aids actually made me hear better than most people because I was usually the first person to hear a new bird call. Let's have a look to see. If you're if you're a year 6 teacher, you can come to the Isle of Wight. Oh, I'd love to go to the Isle of Wight. Yeah, Julian makes me do that too, Fatima. Right, let's move on. It started to rain as we headed back to camp. I pulled on my rain poncho and pulled the hood up so my hearing aids wouldn't get wet, but my jeans and shoes got soaked by the time we reached our cabin. Everyone got soaked. It was fun though. We had a wet sock fight in the cabin. Since it rained for the rest of the day, we spent most of the afternoon goofing off in the rec room. They had a ping pong table and old-style arcade games like Pac-Man and Missile Command that we played until dinner time. Luckily by then it had stopped raining, so we got to have a real campfire cookout. The log benches around the campfire were still a little damp, but we threw our jackets over them and hung out by the fire, toasting s'mores and eating the best roasted hot dogs I have ever tasted. Mum was right about the mosquitoes. There were tons of them, but luckily I had spritzed myself before I left the cabin and I wasn't eaten alive like some of the other kids were. I loved hanging out by the campfire after dark. I loved the way bits of fire dust would float up and disappear into the night air, and how the fire lit up people's faces. I loved the sound the fire made too, and how the woods were so dark that you couldn't see anything around you and you'd look up and see a billion stars in the sky. The sky doesn't look like that in North River Heights. I've seen it look like that in Montauk though, like someone sprinkled salt on a shiny black table. I was so tired when I got back to the cabin that I didn't need to pull out the book to read. I fell asleep almost as fast as my head hit the pillow, and maybe I dreamed about the stars. I don't know. Beautiful. Right, we're going to leave it there. So far, Oggy has had one day at camp, and from the sounds of it, he sounds like he's really enjoyed it, and he's enjoyed what he's been doing. So let's think about the things that he got up to. He went on a nature trail. He was able to hear the birds. He got absolutely soaking wet, all of those different things. And obviously, Julian's not there, so that's a huge thumbs up for Oggy that Julian isn't there to be a bit mean with him. So what we can, or what your task is for today is to imagine that you are Oggy. So today you're going to be writing in first person. So there are 3 words that you need to be including in your writing today. I, me, my. Okay, and you are going to pretend to be Oggy, and you are going to be writing a letter home to your mum. You're going to be writing a letter to mummy to tell her how your first day has been and to tell her what you've been up to, how you're feeling. Okay, so have a little think about it. Best bet is to probably, I would probably think about the things that he's been up to and write down a little list of what he's been up to, and then think about how you're going to write that in your letter. Okay, yes, Petra, in first person. I, me, my. Okay, so for example, dear mummy, I hope you are looking after Baboo and giving him lots of cuddles at night. It was so good that I didn't bring him because I didn't need him. I've had the most amazing day. We went on a nature walk in the woods. I got absolutely soaked, but don't worry, Mum. My Lobots are safe. Tell Daddy he doesn't need to be angry. Okay, so I've just made that up on the spot. So something like that. You're going to write from Oggy's point of view, a letter to Mum. All right, so think about the things that Mummy was telling him about before he left, and then think about what he needs to include in his letter back to his mum. Okay, are there any other questions before I go? Good morning, Max. We're just about to log off. Yeah, so again, anyone from my class, if you want to do that task, I'd be happy to, bye Petra, I'd be happy to read your letters on our Seesaw account as well. If there are any other questions, I'm going to log off now in just a second, and if there are any other questions, you can write them on your Seesaws, on your Google Classrooms, and ask your teachers. They will be more than happy to help you. I hope you all have a lovely weekend and get to enjoy the lovely sunshine at some point. Stay home, stay safe. I can't remember what Miss Lopez says. Stay positive, stay creative. Just stay amazing. Stay exactly how you are. Stay safe. Yes, stay safe. All right, all of you. Look after yourselves. Give my love to all of your families. Have a lovely weekend too. And take care. Bye, everyone.